On April 21st, 1972, astronaut Charles "Charlie" Duke stood on the surface of the Moon as part of NASA's Apollo 16 mission. The lunar landscape stretched around him in every direction, vast, silent, and untouched. The sky above was pitch black, the Earth a distant blue and white marble hanging in the void. It was a place defined by isolation and scientific purpose. And yet, in that stark and airless world, Duke left behind something deeply personal: a small, laminated family photograph. Apollo 16 was the fifth mission to land humans on the Moon. Duke served as lunar module pilot alongside Commander John Young, while Ken Mattingly orbited above in the command module. Their mission focused heavily on lunar geology, exploring the Descartes Highlands and collecting rock samples to better understand the Moon's history. Over 3 days on the surface, Duke and Young conducted moonwalks, deployed scientific instruments, and drove the lunar roving vehicle across the dusty terrain. But amid the technical tasks and historic achievements, Duke carried a quiet intention that had nothing to do with science. Tucked inside his spacesuit was a photograph of his wife, Dorothy, and their 2 sons, Charles and Thomas. It was a simple family portrait, smiling faces, dressed neatly, frozen in a moment of earthly normalcy. On the back, Duke had written a message. "This is the family of astronaut Charlie Duke from planet Earth who landed on the Moon on April 20th, 1972. It was both a declaration and a tribute. In a place where no life had ever existed, Duke wanted to leave a reminder of the people who meant the most to him. The gesture speaks volumes about the human side of space exploration. Astronauts are often remembered for their courage, discipline, and technical expertise. They are test pilots, engineers, scientists, individuals trained to handle extreme risk and pressure. But they are also spouses, parents, sons, and daughters." Duke was just 36 years old at the time of Apollo 16, one of the youngest men to walk on the Moon. Behind the helmet and the mission protocols was a father who missed his family. Space travel in the Apollo era required enormous sacrifice. Astronauts trained relentlessly, often spending long periods away from home. The risks were ever present. When Duke stepped onto the lunar surface, he carried not only national pride, but also the knowledge that every mission carried real danger. Leaving the photograph behind was a symbolic act, an expression of love, and a way to connect 2 worlds separated by nearly 240,000 miles. The Moon itself is an unforgiving environment. With no atmosphere to shield it, the surface is exposed to extreme temperature swings, intense radiation, and micrometeorite impacts. Over time, Duke's photograph has likely faded. The colours may be bleached, the image degraded, yet in another sense, it remains preserved in history. The act of placing it there has become part of the story of Apollo 16, a small but powerful reminder that exploration is not just about discovery, it is about humanity. Duke later reflected on the emotional significance of that moment. Standing on the Moon was the fulfillment of a dream he had carried since childhood. Like many of his generation, he had been inspired by the early days of the space race and President Kennedy's bold challenge to land a man on the Moon. But achieving that dream did not diminish his love for home. If anything, seeing Earth from such a distance deepened his appreciation for it. Astronauts often describe the overview effect, a cognitive shift that occurs when viewing Earth from space, a profound sense of unity and fragility. Duke experienced that perspective firsthand. The family photograph represents a bridge between the extraordinary and the ordinary. On one hand, it rests on alien soil, a relic of humanity's most daring adventure. On the other, it captures a universal truth, that even in our greatest achievements, we remain connected to the people we love. In a mission defined by checklists, experiments, and engineering precision, the photograph was an unscripted act of tenderness. There is also something poetic about the idea of a family portrait sitting quietly on the moon. It is a testament to how far humanity has come, from ancient stargazers wondering about the lights in the sky, to a father leaving a picture of his children on another world. It reminds us that exploration is not driven solely by ambition or competition, but by curiosity and connection. We venture outward not to escape Earth, but to understand it better, and perhaps to understand ourselves. More than 5 decades later, no human has returned to the lunar surface since the Apollo program ended in 1972. Duke's photograph remains there, along with footprints, flags, scientific instruments, and rovers. The footprints are undisturbed, preserved in the fine lunar dust. In that stillness, the photograph endures as a quiet symbol of the era. It represents a time when humanity pushed beyond its limits and reached another celestial body, carrying with it not just technology, but heart. As new missions prepare to return astronauts to the moon under programs like Artemis, Duke's simple act gains renewed significance. Future explorers may once again bring personal mementos, small reminders of home in a vast and silent landscape. The moon is no longer just a distant dream. It is a destination humanity has already touched. And among the many artifacts left behind, one of the most touching is a family portrait, placed there by a man who wanted the universe to know where he came from and who he loved. Charles Duke's family photograph on the moon is not the largest artifact, nor the most scientifically valuable. It will not change our understanding of lunar geology or the origins of the solar system. But it may be one of the most meaningful. In a place defined by emptiness, it tells a story of belonging. In a world without life, it speaks of family. And in the vast silence of space, it whispers something profoundly human. If you enjoyed learning about this remarkable and heartfelt moment in space history, I would love for you to join us for more stories just like this. There are so many incredible, little-known details hidden within the great milestones of exploration, and we are only just getting started uncovering them together. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share so you never miss an episode.